Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Yaya's Heart Tarot. Today I'll be bringing you messages from the departed. We'll be doing 2 readings today. I'm not going to be bringing any meditation messages today. There were a couple of things that came through, but I feel that they were more for me in preparation for this meditation. In preparation for these readings. There won't be meditation messages today, but we will be doing 2 readings, and as always the readings will be linked to a timestamp in the description box below. So once you decide on your reading, just drop down to the description box and click on the timestamp that corresponds to your group, and it'll take you directly to your reading. Today I wanted again to bring in another Claire. In addition to the site, clairvoyance, with regard to the groups. Again, I wanted to bring in clairaudience today, which is hearing, sound. So the 2 groups that we're going to be doing today, group number 1 is singing quartz, is group number 1, and I'll let you hear those here in just a moment. And group number 2 is a singing bowl. So I'll let you listen, I'll let you hear both of those. The singing quartz. That's group 1. Singing quartz is group 1. And group 2 is the singing bowl. So again, group 1, singing quartz, and group 2 is the singing bowl. So if you would like to, if you need to back up the video and listen again, please do so. If you have made a choice, perfect. If you'd like to listen to both readings, also fine. And when you're ready, just drop down to the description box, click on the timestamp for your reading, and I will meet you there. Hi group 1, this is your reading, the singing quartz. The first message that we would like to get today, please, Spirit, is who is coming through for group 1. Group 1, who is coming through for you? Who is coming through for group 1? Okay, group 1, we got the 10 of Cups, and we got the 7 of Wands. So, who is coming through for you today is someone that you loved above all else. This person, I really can't say it any more simply than that. This is someone that you loved more than anyone, or as much as anyone else in your life. This was probably one of the most significant people in your life. They meant a great deal to you. You loved them dearly. Spirit, thank you for that message, and may we please have messages with regard to what was the relationship between this departed and group 1. Departed, what was your relationship with group 1? What was your relationship with them? Group 1, what was your relationship with this departed? Interesting. We got the Devil and the Wheel of Fortune. The Devil and the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like in this relationship there was some codependence that was holding you back from fully realizing the potential of this relationship, or fully realizing your potential. You were very dependent upon each other, and because of that, one or both of you never was able to fulfill your full potential, or their full potential, or both, because you were not able to separate from one another to fully become yourself. You were so enmeshed with each other. So that's the relationship that you had with this departed. Thank you, Spirit, for that message. And what is the question that Group 1 has for the departed? Departed, what is it that your loved ones here would like to ask? What is it that they want to know? We got the Six of Cups. We got the Ten of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and the Emperor. They want to know, after you left this lifetime, looking back, did you feel that you had everything that you would have wanted in this lifetime? Did you feel that you commanded your life and that you made it everything that you wanted it to be? That's what your loved one wants to know, Spirit. They want to know that now that you have left this lifetime and looking back, was it everything that you wanted it to be, or do you have regrets about this lifetime? That's what your loved ones would like to know. Spirit, thank you for those messages. And Spirit departed, what is your reply to your loved one's question, query? What is your reply to them, Spirit? Okay, so we got the Two of Pentacles, we got the Page of Swords, and we got the High Priestess. So your departed loved one, Group 1, is saying that when they were here in this lifetime, they had to balance a number of things that may have kept them from, again, fully realizing their potential, their abundance, their wants and desires, their wishes, their path. Looking back on it, they may have cut away this codependence that they had with you. We've got this intertwined, these two pentacles are inextricably intertwined, and it goes on and on and on. And so now that they have moved on and they have a higher understanding of what their purpose was, they wish that they had maybe gotten some separation. And they want this for you. They want you to to cut the ties, cut the cords that bind you to them still. Also, both of these cards are twos. And so that speaks of a duality or a balance. And then this card talks of a singular purpose. So their reply to your question is that the ties that you had to one another bound you in such a way that neither of you was able to fully realize their potential, because if you had, you would have been concerned that it would have left the other one behind. Both directions felt that way, and that this would have caused harm. But looking back, knowing what your loved one knows now, they would have tried harder to cut the ties. And that doesn't mean to leave you behind by any means. They would never have left you. But they would have given you more independence, and they would have sought more independence for themselves. And by independent, again, I don't mean that they would have physically left you ever. That would never have happened. But they might have, they wish that they would have perhaps not done so much for you, or not always been there to pick up all the pieces, or not always filled in wherever you had any holes or needs, because they realize that by doing that, you were not able to fully develop your own strengths, your own gifts, because they were always there making things easier for you, as you were probably for them, or perhaps you were always looking for that from them. So that's the reply to your question. Had they, now that they have moved on and can look back, they wish that they had given you more autonomy and not come to your rescue quite as often, perhaps. Thank you, Spirit, for that message. And departed loved one, is there any additional message that you would like to leave for your loved one? What else would you like them to know? What other message would you like for them to have? Okay, so we got the Queen of Pentacles and we got the Hierophant. So the message that they want you to have is that you have everything at your disposal. You have the wisdom, you have the ability, you have the self-worth or the self-confidence. You have the fortitude, and you have the core strength to be able to set out now more on your own and be able to manifest the abundance that was maybe kept from you because of your dependence on this loved one. Because you didn't need to test yourself, and when you test yourself and you succeed, you gain a strong sense of confidence. And when you test yourself and you fail, you learn that you have to do something differently, or try harder, or you learn a lesson. So your loved one is saying that you have within you the strength of character to realize your gifts, to develop your creativity and your passions, and become very, very abundant. They also want you to know that they will always be there for you, and that there are other teachers, there are other spirit guides, there are other divine beings that you can always call on if you need any assistance, or if you just want company even. But it's up to you to call them in. We all have free will. They can't step in unless we ask them to. So remember that you are tied to these divine beings as well. They will always be there for you. All you need to do is ask. If you need their help, if you want their guidance, if you just want to feel their love, all you need to do is open up to it. But again, your loved one wants you to know that you have the strength of character to develop into this amazing, abundant person who has everything that they could ever want, and can bring that into their life. And you can do that with divine guidance if you need it. They're always there for you to call upon. So that's the reading for you today, Group 1, from your loved one. And let's take a look at the oracle card that we pulled ahead of time. The oracle card is Aries, and it says act. I chuckle because I'm Aries. So let's see what the guidebook has to say about Aries. Aries, also number 1 in this particular deck. Aries asks you to remember your personal fire, your reason for being alive. It pumps up the volume on your life force. Its energy is raw, exhilarated, direct, rude, passionate, and looking for a challenge. Use your wisdom to focus this raw power and give it a goal. Aries is the cardinal fire sign whose fresh, brash enthusiasm is symbolized by a headstrong ram. It rules the head and imbues initiation, new beginnings, spontaneity, rebellion, and rebirth. The sun shines here from March 20th to April 20th. Action. Begin. Move into new territory. Cut to the chase. Be a hero. Feel the call to action and thoughtfully respond. Clear the air and clear the decks. Be crisp and to the point. Shoot from the hip. Set healthy boundaries just by being vibrantly alive. Express affection enthusiastically, spontaneously, and passionately. Work in short, intense bursts rather than long periods of deep concentration. Your challenge. Accidents increase when you are in a hurry, rushing through a project, or impatiently distracted. When you are in a hurry, rushing through a project, or impatiently distracted. This flammable temperament can spark inspiration or spark a conflagration. Proceed with caution. The gift. Aries marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere. After a long, dark winter, the dead landscape comes alive. Plants that were shorn of leaves or dormant now breathe new life. This is a brave miracle, and it can be your miracle. Feel the flowing inner life force, trust this divine direction, and summon the courage to begin. So this Aries talks of starting anew in the spring. And so that's what this message is for you, to start anew with your own fire, your own passion, your own strength. That's what your loved one wants you to do. To step out and feel your own strength and power and vibrancy, and begin a new understanding of who you are and a new life, essentially, and recognize your power. Take your power, own your power. So, Group 1, I hope that this reading has been helpful for you. I hope that it has brought you whatever it is that you are seeking. And I hope that you will come back and spend time with me again in the future. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye. Hi, Group 2. This is your reading, The Singing Bowl. Spirit, the first messages that we would like to get for Group 2 are who is coming through for them. Who is coming through for you, Group 2? We have cards to represent who is coming through for Group 2, please. Okay, we got the Librarian, which is the Hierophant, and the Seven of Fire, Seven of Wands. So, the individual who is coming through for you is was an authority figure in your life. They were someone who was maybe set in their ways. There was someone who was, they had rules. They liked their rules to be followed. They liked their life to be ordered. And so when you came to visit them, perhaps, they had very strict rules about where you could eat and where you could play, and they liked things put away in their place when you were done with them. And in fact, they probably wouldn't let you get something else out until you had put something away. They were perhaps even a bit puritanical. They just were very much needed or wanted things to be very orderly, and they enforced that. So that's who's coming through for you, Group 2. Thank you, Spirit, for that message. And what was the relationship between Group 2 and their departed? Departed, what was your relationship with Group 2? What relationship did you have with them? I'm feeling as though we need a different deck. Let's try this little guy. What was your relationship? Departed with Group 2. What was your relationship with them? Okay. So we got the Six of Cups, the Chariot, and the Three of Cups. When you were a child, this person was elderly. So I'm guessing it was probably a grandparent or a great-grandparent. And I'm getting the feeling that even though this individual was very set and orderly in their ways, with you, they allowed you to have little special treats, kind of a this will be our secret kind of a thing. Yeah, and so with you, they became a little bit more playful than they normally were. They still liked their house to be just so. They still liked their rules followed and their place to be the way they liked it. And they were in charge. But every once in a while, with you, when no one else was around, you got to see kind of a playful side of them that most people never did see. So that was your relationship with this individual. Also, I'm noticing on these cards, this one has a white bird and this one has a black bird. So the two of you were almost polar opposites. You kind of balanced each other out. You might be someone who's very frivolous and silly, and just loves to push the envelope and doesn't really care about a lot of order and cleanliness. I mean, not that you're dirty, but you don't worry about things being put away. If stuff gets messy or if there's piles of stuff, you don't worry about that. You're more about just living in the moment and having fun. And so the two of you balanced each other out. Because this individual, and I'm getting a very strong grandmother vibe, was generally fairly controlled and reserved. They kind of had a facade of someone who was respectable. And so when the two of you were together, she actually got to be a little bit silly. And she also taught you kind of how to put your stuff away and how to respect her need for tidiness and order. And so you got a little something from each other. She brought some order into your life, which, even though you may have initially rebelled against it, you realized that that you needed some order in your life, because sometimes things got a little bit chaotic and there was so much clutter, or there was so much activity, or there was so much spontaneity that sometimes you felt pretty unmoored. And so this individual helped you to get connected a little bit more to some order, some discipline, and just kind of to make your life feel a little more calm. You, on the other hand, gave this individual, it kind of pulled her out of her shell, pulled her out of her everyday routine that was very much the same day in, day out. And so you brought a little bit of joy to her life. So that's the relationship that the two of you had with one another. Excuse me just one moment, please. Sorry, group 2, I'm back. Thank you, Spirit, for that message. And so what is group 2's question for their departed? What is your question for your departed loved one, group 2? Okay. We got the 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, the Fool, and the Queen of Swords. Or, yes, the Queen of Swords. So, your question. Your question has to do with judgment. You're wanting to know if their life, the way they live their life, okay, yes. You're wanting to know if the way they lived their life was how they really wanted to live their life. You want to know if they were happy with the life that they lived, or were they somehow caged in this need to have the appearance of always being orderly. And you want to know, had they not I get the feeling that there was something that you feel was oppressing them, that was forcing them to be always in control and have a certain facade of being respectable. And so you're wanting to know, did they ever want to break away from that? Would their life have been better if they had been able to set out on a completely new life that was much more carefree? You wonder about this life that they had, being this queen of very orderly, very almost cold, emotionless existence. And so you're wondering, do they wish that they could have lived differently? Did they ever want to break away from that structure, from that resistance, that being tied to this facade of having to be respectable and orderly and in control? Thank you for that question. And Spirit, what is your reply to your loved one? Group 2, what is your departed loved one's reply? Okay, so we got the Empress, we got the Queen of Pentacles, we got the Three of Swords. So, your loved one's reply is yes, they would have liked to. They would have liked to have been able to show you more love and affection, and sometimes it hurt them that they couldn't play with you more often, that they couldn't be more playful, that they couldn't be more spontaneous. So the answer to your question is yes, they do wish that they could have broken out of whatever it was that held them to this particular lifestyle. They actually have a very deep motherly instinct, very, very strong motherly instinct, and they would have loved to have provided just everything you could have possibly wanted for you in their lifetime, and it hurt them sometimes that they couldn't do that. Spirit, can you please let your loved ones know why you couldn't break out of that? Why were you stuck in this persona, this life? I'm going to go with the cards that we already had come out and see if those will tell us the story. Yeah, we have the Five of Cups, which talks about a great deal of regret. The Two of Pentacles, they had to balance something in their life. They were kind of stuck. They were trapped in. It was as though if they had not done things the way that they did, if they had not maintained this image of control, they feared that they would lose what they had worked so hard to gain. So, it's possible. The Knight of Buckets, the Knight of Cups, and the Judgment. Yeah. They were very, very worried that whatever they had worked for so hard in their life, perhaps your loved one was an immigrant who had moved to another country and had nothing, to begin with, who moved maybe to this country and were not able to bring anything with them, had to start had to start over completely. And so had they not shown that strength, that had they shown any sort of weakness, or had they shown any, they felt that if they had shown any sort of weakness or vulnerability, had they not stayed true to being in control, that they may have lost everything that they worked so hard for. That was their fear in their life. That if they didn't present an image of being very strong and very in control, and someone that you didn't question, someone that you absolutely did not question, they had to present themselves as an authority figure. They had to present themselves as someone who was not weak, or they feared they would lose everything that they had worked so hard for. And that would also mean that they would lose their ability to help their loved ones, your parents perhaps, and you. So that's why they regret that they had to be the way that they were, but they didn't really have a choice. Spirit, thank you so much for that message. And can you please, do you have any additional messages for your loved ones in group 2? Any additional message for your loved ones in group 2 here? Okay, so we've got the 2 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, wow, and the 8 of Swords. There's a great deal of loneliness and feeling trapped here. They feel as though they secluded themselves. They want you to know that they purposefully set themselves apart from you, on the surface, from what people saw. They may have presented one face to the world when they were in public, when other people were watching. That was not their true feeling. They presented this very strong, very austere, very severe persona when there were others in the world who would see them. But by doing that, and they chose to do that. They chose to do that. They felt that they had to do that to protect the ones that they loved. But by doing that, they felt so very lonely, and they so wished that they could have spent more time playing, especially with you. So any other messages, Spirit, for your loved one? We got the Hanged Man, and I'm not exactly sure what that means. Spirit, can you... oh, okay, I do know what this means. They just want you to know that they're watching over you. See, this little spirit guy here is watching over you. Maybe you're going through something right now where you're unsure of what to do next. They want you to know that they're watching over you, and they want you to remember the lessons that they taught you. They want you to draw upon the orderliness that they helped you to learn. So bring some order into your life before you make a snap decision or a rash decision. they want you to sit in some calm. They want you to find a place of calm, and they want you to sit in that calm until you can make a decision that is not rash or spontaneous, because they feel like where you are right now is something that is going to have an important outcome. And so they want you to know that they're watching over you, and they want you to find that calm, that orderly place that they taught you about when you were little, and make the decision from that place. There's no hurry. There's no hurry to make this decision. They want you to find that place of calm, and they'll help you if you need it. Just call on them. But that's their final message to you. So let's take a look and see what our oracle card was here. It says Descendant, Invitation. And this is what the card looks like. While the Ascendant describes how you enter the world, the Descendant is the place where you invite equal others to come into your world. It describes how you see these peers, what you project upon them, and what you were trained to respect in them. So, trained to respect. The Descendant is where the sun would be at sunset. The action is to look at how you invite others to dance with you, to relate. Be welcoming while also keeping healthy boundaries in place. Once you feel comfortable about your ground rules for the people you bring into your life, it is easier to open your heart. So perhaps this is a message about this decision that you're trying to make here. If you notice that you keep people at a distance or avoid meeting new people, investigate this habit. That was a habit that your loved one had. Though it might have been important to protect you at one time in your life, consider how it is working for you now and what would help you to feel safe enough to open this door. Also notice in what areas of your life you ask other people to do your work for you. The Descendant can point to what you might try to import from other people. While this practice can refer to an important skill in a work situation, it has its dangers in personal relationship. If you feel disempowered, you might be drawn to powerful people. If you're an extrovert who inwardly craves emotional and spiritual intimacy, you might draw in someone who helps you cozy up at home. It's wonderful when others can help you develop latent characteristics within yourself. But if you ask them to do this work for you and they leave, there goes your resource. If you see them as only an extension of yourself, you can't really see them. When you develop your own resources, you can see these others as whole beings with their own needs and gifts. Your challenge is you give your power away when, instead of working together, you ask others to be what is missing in yourself. The gift is tend the inlet to your heart. Invite in relationships that are clear, healing, nurturing, self-responsible, and encouraging of mutual evolution. I feel as though this card is talking about whatever this decision is that you're trying to make or thinking of making now. And your loved one is, again, cautioning you to make an informed decision, a careful decision, a decision that comes from a place of calm. So I hope this reading has been helpful to you. It was a nice reading. I enjoyed this one. Your loved one is a very powerful, I suspect, woman. And she still comes across very powerfully. She's very reserved, but she's also, I can feel a kindness in her. Anyway, I hope this brought you whatever it is that you need. And I hope that whatever this decision is that you are struggling with brings you something wonderful into your life, whatever decision you make. I appreciate your having been here with me. I really enjoy doing these readings for you, and I hope that you'll come back and spend time with me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.